Nintendo is having a Don Matrrick moment. Don Matrrick is famously known for being the person that almost single-handedly destroyed Xbox. At least he hurt the Xbox One tremendously before the release of the Xbox One. The Xbox 360 era, Xbox did wonderful. They had over 80 million units out there. They sold well. They competed head on with the PS3 at the time. And Don Matrrick made a few fumbles that made people not wanna get the Xbox One. Uh, Famously, he was asked, and I'm paraphrasing, he was asked, uh, they didn't there are people out there that don't want a always online console, which was what the Xbox One required, that for it to be online, and he said Don Matrix said, "For those people that don't wanna play online, they want don't wanna have their console online, for them, there's a product, and it's the Xbox 360." So this is what the head of Xbox said when he was supposed to be pitching the Xbox One. He told them, "Oh, if you don't wanna be online, you can stick with the Xbox 360." Um, and all of these things combined with the focus on entertainment for the Xbox One being TV, all of that affected Xbox and they never recovered. During the Xbox One and PS4, when those consoles launched, uh, most people gravitated towards the PS4 because the PS4, they famously made fun of Microsoft's tactic of always requiring the console online, even if most consoles did require online because you have day one patches for games now. But at that time, that was a new concept of always keeping a console online. So Don Matrix hurt the Xbox brand tremendously, and Xbox hasn't recovered ever since. I believe that Nintendo might be having that same moment right now. Nintendo's having a Don Matrix moment. Several reasons, we'll get into that. First, they want $450 for the Nintendo Switch 2. It's a piece of hardware that is not even as powerful as a PS4 Pro. So it's technology that is not as powerful as a PS4 Pro, and they want to charge you $450 for that performance in a handheld format in 2025. In the year 2025, there's a bundle for $4.99 with the Mario Kart World game included. Now they're saying that the Mario Kart, if you want to buy that game, is going to cost $80 for the digital version and $90 for the physical version. That's crazy. $80 for a cart game, a kid's game. It's crazy. They want $80 for that game and they want $90 for the physical. Now, here's the deal with the physical. What they're saying right now is that when you buy a physical game, the game is no longer going to be on the cartridge. So when you buy a cartridge for a Nintendo Switch 2, they're saying that the game is not going to be on the cartridge. All this going to have is the license. So when you put that cartridge into the Nintendo Switch 2, that cartridge is going to require that you download the game because it's not included with the cartridge. So that's another hit or fumble there. It's crazy. It requires that the Nintendo Switch is always online, and if you're a collector of physical games, you're not really collecting anything when you buy a Nintendo Switch 2 game. You're just collecting a license. Because if the servers are down and or you don't have internet access, you won't be able to play the game. So think about that. You go to a store, you buy a physical game, and you come home and you want to put on your Nintendo Switch 2, and if you don't have internet on, you won't be able to play the game, even though you bought a physical copy of the game in the cartridge. But the cartridge doesn't include the game, it only includes the license for it. So I thought that was a little crazy. Um, the next thing, um, is that games like certain games like Zelda Breath of the Wild and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, they're gonna have upgraded versions. They're calling them Nintendo Switch 2 versions of those games, and those instead of you putting in the old game and having that game maybe perform better because you have a better GPU now, just like it would on a computer. Nintendo wants to charge you approximately $20 is what they're saying right now. Nintendo's gonna charge you $20 for you to upgrade your version of Zelda to the Switch 2 version that has better frame rates and better graphics, better resolution, because obviously you have better hardware. They're saying that the Nintendo Switch 2 is 10 times more powerful than the Nintendo Switch. So they want to charge $20 for these upgrades. It's ridiculous. I think that it's think about it, $80 for a game, 90 for the physical. By the time you pay tax, it's 100 over $100 you're spending for a physical game that don't even include the game in it. It's gonna include a license for the game in the cartridge. I think that they're gonna do well with the release of the console with people that are Nintendo fans and they only play Nintendo games. I think they're gonna do well with that. But with casual gamers, I don't know how well they're going to do. Casual gamers are used to playing games on their cell phone. Just download the game and play it. They're not thinking about spending that much extra money for a game. I can see some families will be buying a Nintendo and buying these games at $80, but they won't be able to afford to buy a lot of games uh, quickly because they're very expensive. So yeah, I think Nintendo's having a Don Matrrick moment. um, I hope they learn something from this. I think that there's people been very vocal about it, against these high prices for these games, especially Nintendo games. And even worse is that Nintendo games, they rarely ever go on sale. Nintendo has kept the price permanent on like these Nintendo branded games. So if you bought uh Zelda Breath of the Wild when it was first released, today, 7 or 8 years later, it costs you exactly the same price to buy that game today. Every once in a blue moon, they might have a sale and the game might drop $20 to 49.99, and that's very hard to come by. But these games don't lose they don't lose their value because Nintendo won't reduce their price at retail. So there just a lot of things with the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal that just kind of went wrong. Uh, they didn't really show that many like games that were blowing your mind off. No, they showed some Metroid Beyond. Um, they showed Donkey Kong, the new game that's coming out for it, and a little bit, I guess, of Super Mario Kart. But yeah, this Nintendo Switch 2 reveal just there was a reason why in the reveal they didn't put the price in the reveal. You got to the end of the reveal and there was still no pricing on it. You had to go online and search for the price to be able to figure out or watch it on Twitter when people were post tweeting about this on X. But yeah, there it is. The Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo might be having a Don Matrix moment, famously uh, fumbling the ball right before the release of their new system, just like Xbox did in 2013. I'm out.